Hello Earth, welcome to episode 6 of season 4 of Making Cell, a series of videos where I record myself designing and implementing a programming environment called Cell. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I suggest you go check out the official page at github.com/altdecodenl/cell. I'm pasting now the link in the description. And so yesterday, we were doing a short mute episode figuring out the expansion and the dependencies. So to remind myself what I'm doing, which is not easy because I want to get to a demo, well, to a usable app that I can demo as well. Yeah, at least I redid the stuff at the top, which I think is much better now. So the why is much clearer. It's like quickly build and understand, not just build. So I was working on the simple example of this function that just sums 1 and seeing how the expansion would work. Yeah, I just need to take this implementation by the horns and just get it done. Really, the part that is important here is this one, because it's what gets sent to cell.respond. Big questions. So how does it behave? Not cell do or cell native, just cell.respond. How do we build dependencies? Graphs. So you have there are 3 calls inside 11. 11 and then it would be actually we can just sort them by length here. 11 depends on class 1 only. It depends on the thing, on the first thing to the step to the right of the add. The second call depends on and plus. However, because it's a native call, that won't change. However, if you redefine it, it will, and you can redefine any call, so there's no skipping it. So it depends on plus. It also depends on int. The third call just depends on int. I was going to say that the less nested calls that include a call depend on those calls and those calls only. That makes sense. But in the case of 11, the outermost call, the dependencies are really against +1, which is the one bringing the entire definition. So this already violates this principle. I'm going to work in a disorganized way now, I think, but I need to just go for it. Do I really need the dependencies? Is it really that necessary? It feels like such a pain to build this. But I need a dependency graph. There's no way I cannot do it without. If the cell is somewhat big, I need the dependencies. But if this is so hard to think about, what's going on? Oh yeah, nothing. Then I can take a shortcut. Related top level prefixes should not care about changes somewhere else, right? That brings me back to but then why top level? What I care about is from the moment you have an add, you have to recompute things, right? Why can't I just have a map of all the keys, all the paths that affect a prefix that are not starting with that prefix? Now, that is interesting. Okay, so I think that's the idea, right? Depends on +1. Inside 11, I do int to its right, but that's just understood. So a rule would be if something to your right changes, you need to reevaluate also what happens to your left. So the chain of dependencies can be just for non-obvious things looking to the left. There could be some false positives, unnecessary recalculations doing this, but it's fine. It's probably more expensive just to keep these extensive dependency lists. Not to mention that I can figure out how to do it, because I can figure out how to do it like statically, but I'll tell you what's really tripping me out right now. Tripping me off. Tripping me, I guess. I'm just falling, stumbling. What's tripping me off is that the place to look for is dynamic, non-obvious, because the system walks up until it finds something with the step after the add. So you don't know, unless you walk, where that thing is, that dependency is. It is somewhere in your prefix, and if you don't find it, if you go all the way to the left, it's nowhere. For practical purposes, what I need is to know that 11 depends on +1 and recalculate 11 when +1 changes. That's really it. And if something depends on 11, change that on the next loop. Why not change that as well? We also need to prevent with an error as a value. Yes. Circular references. Temptation to use the LLM to think less is astounding. I'm thinking. So in this case, F15 depends on FizzBuzz really and nothing else. If you have something like F dynamic is FizzBuzz value, then F dynamic depends on both FizzBuzz and value. Two important things. Instead of thinking in terms top level or not, let's just think in terms of prefixes before the first at. These are the static parts. I don't even have to use quotes. Yeah, so these are the ones where it makes sense to have dependency entries. Okay, I forgot the second thing almost. I know I have it in my mind. Okay. Fuck, I need to get somewhere. This is So okay, so what this shows is that we want to have a list of dependencies for each call that is the leftmost on its path. Not calls that have another call to their left. There's the problem with the equals, but those are results really, and in any case the equals are replaced with ats. Sorry, the ats are replaced with equals, so it's either irrelevant or it doesn't even happen. Therefore no. These are the calls that need a dependency list. And the other thing is if those calls depend on something more internal that is defined internally, it doesn't matter because you're remaking the whole thing anyway, right? No, if that thing being referenced is to the left of the first call, it's outside. And because there's no call, you know its value. So you know it. But what about referencing something that has a mere value? In this case, F dynamic yo depends on F dynamic foo. So we have to look at the definitions inside to see to what they might resolve. Fuck. Ah. Why can't we generate dependency lists on the fly? Because we don't know who is referencing that who you just changed. That's the problem. If you don't know or you forgot, you need to do a full pass from the top. Well, I just understand more and more why no one did this before. It's so fucking pain in the ass. What was the name of this record? Let's go to a low effort solution. I think cell is an expression of a low effort attempt to do the impossible. I'll just write it down. Yeah. So So the low effort solution would be any track dependencies. What? Sorry, dependencies for first call prefixes only. For each first call, look at the yeah, this will work. It's horrible and I love it. I think it will work. So look at all the calls to its right. Take all the first steps after them, make it into a distinct set, and assume that those are dependencies at the prefix level and also at the prefix -1 level all the way up. So dependency is +1. When you have the expansion depends on plus and int. For all 5 walk ups starting with the 0th, the prefix itself, you have ten dependencies. Really, we could just store We could just store plus and int. The walkups of the prefix are just given by the prefix itself, right? But what happens when a change comes in from somewhere else? If the change is in int, potentially we need to redo this call. But if it is in bar int, we won't. It's crazy how much the single step walkup rather than multiple step walkup is simplifying things for us. All right. I need to zoom out for a minute. Yeah, this is fine. We did this, we defined it. Yeah. And once we have that, let me just put this at the top, right? Yeah, this one. And this should be working. So we get the language there, then we do upload, data handling, add check, API, and view. How am I not taking an entire year to do this at the rate that I'm going? That's a very difficult question that I'm facing right now. Okay, if I have this, am I on the right path? I think so. There has to be some editor here too. Yeah, I need the editor here, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe I can just prompt the LLM to write the code. Okay. We need to get this going, these three. This is done. Yeah. Okay, let's just understand how we would do it. change the album. 1 minute. All right. I'm back to FizzBus. Dependencies are none? No, of course they are. No. F15 is at FizzBus 15. 15 depends on FizzBus. Value. The value depends on FizzBus and value. Okay, so how do these little lists? Oh my god, I saw it. Help me to know when something has changed and has to be recalculated. We have a bloody symbol table that is global, and it's the other way around. We store the do I really need to do this? That are being called. So it's a dependence graph, not dependencies. Value has f value. Actually, let's do it like this. What am I doing? F value here. Cleaning the dependency table shouldn't be difficult, which is something I was fearing. If the prefix no, it's not it's dependency. Changes. See if it's still a dependent of where it is, but how do you quickly look that up? You also need a dependencies graph. You just need that, yeah. And I'm misspelling things. Yep. Dependencies. F value depends on phase pass. And then, yeah, F15 depends on phase pass. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, now is it IRLM time. Bam, 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 bam. Please go at this with a baseball bat constructively to see if it holds water. I need to implement this. Thinking about concerns with this request. Okay. And yeah. I recalculate A. It's not static, really. It's all dynamic. It's just a matter of when. If add value brings something else, if that something else is changed, then add value is changed, which changes the first thing I was looking at. I can do this because definitions, although runtime, are values. Yeah. Oh, don't give me algorithms in Python. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Because you don't and cannot know the path until you are actually executing, but you don't know whether you should re-execute. Yeah. Give me code for now. This Python code. The dependence can only be single steps. The dependencies can be paths of length 1 or more. Gives you dependence is the same thing. It would be called the value. I like this. I really like this. F15. This is new. This is good. Dependencies would be. I can have distinct paths here, so I don't need to do anything else. That's just fucking beautiful. Yes. It would be. This bus. I can express this with 4 data. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. Let's just say. But I think I'm ready from going to the stage where the very long stage where everybody's ignoring what I'm doing to the stage where a vast majority take a shit on top of what I'm doing. I'm ready for that stage, I think, at least for a while. So yeah, what is it? I'm just stuck, but don't tell me. F value. Oh man, am I slow? It depends on piece bus and value. And then it would be called, what is it, F15. I'm not sure if the sorting is fine, but it's fine. Yes. It could be common as hell, and I'll probably have to change it soon, but it's progress. And I think already the data structure is good. Yeah, it gets it, huh? Yeah. You can change the algorithm of invalidation without changing this structure. Okay, well, I feel good. Well, let's tackle another problem. Oh, this can work. So do we do this? Yeah. Should I tackle this? Implement cell.respond fully, understanding the algorithm. Understand the naive from the top approach. Add dependencies to only redo what's necessary. Thanks. In BC-Calc versus Lotus, what was the breakthrough of a natural order of recalculation? A dependency graph or something more subtle? Yeah, it was from the top. BC-Calc would get stuck with circular dependencies. Yeah. Yeah. Don't I already have topological order if I track dependencies? What would the sorting be? Are you sure of this? Yeah, I think it is the case, yeah. This is like a spreadsheet. It always has to be up to date, but there's no batch. Changes come discreetly. Yeah. Why were they doing larger chunks at once? I'm just thinking about earliest combined like subparsers. Is there anything like this available here? I'm also thinking about the recursive calls. How do we not consider them to be circular dependencies? A low effort way of doing it is to track cycles in what gets triggers recalculations. Oh, I have no idea. Okay. Okay, so now why is this was getting stuck here? Let's just tackle this. Please read out a postcard. No cell test. Yeah, look at that stuck. One to two. Wait, this is interesting. Why is this tag coming out? Is it just a matter of timing? Clean. Yeah, it never gets to clean. Is this working? No, it doesn't make it there. Yeah, so it just locks the tag. Dun, 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 dun. So this one is okay. I don't know why so many times, but now this is the good stuff. I need to see this in a better way. Just get stuck in sequence too, right? Yeah. Is it because I didn't define push? It's because I didn't define push, right? Oh man. Why this bus execution got stuck? I need to distinguish between there is a this versus empty text versus there is nothing there. Let's now go through it manually. Armistice Day, yeah. Yeah, so what it would be. So we're close to the end of the session tonight. Because this was 15. Yeah, I have it there, right? Wait. Because I called it this was 15. So I start with n15 and then do, it would be what? I couldn't say, I wouldn't know. Had the privilege of seeing some of them live recently. So here is straightforward. I need here to do an OK, later to be replaced with a diff, and then output to become this. Let's just find the lone at and check its value. There's nothing to it there. Don't stop following me. This would be I'm actually curious about what was the issue here. Yeah, the issue is on this line. Wait, where is it? This one, current value length is 0. That's the one, right? Okay, I think I'm going to continue tomorrow. But this is promising. If I can figure out the mechanism for evaluation in respond and get FizzBuzz going, we're great. FizzBuzz and HTML. If we have that in that much of the language, well, and loops, but we need them, then yeah, we can move on. fix the tests. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Thank you for watching.